Good morning and welcome to Life Lessons with Barbara. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Barbara Aline Johnson, and I'll be sharing lessons I've learned, some through my own life experiences, but also professionally with my work as a counselor, therapist, consultant, and most recently as a life coach. I am the owner of BEJ and Associates LLC, a transformational coaching and consulting company. My team and I specialize in dismantling barriers that stand between you and the life you truly want to live, or that business or project you hope to build. And let me give a shout out to Wdrb Media for giving me this fantastic opportunity to spend these few minutes with you. And I hope you're enjoying After the Rain. That's playing in the background. And it's by none other than the fabulous Lois Lady Mac McMorris, lead guitarist extraordinaire. To download After the Rain and to hear more of her tunes. And you can also visit her website at my website, bej-associates.com/radio. And once you get there, you can also see as well as hear all past shows that we've done. You'll also find some very exciting career information being offered by the Dudley Beauty Corporation. You'll hear the second part of a 3-part interview I did with Dana Gower, our money guru. So stay tuned for that. You're listening to Life Lessons with Barbara and Lady Mac. Stay tuned. We're back. I'm talking with my associate and friend, Dana Gower. And he's going to tell us about careering, how to find and maintain meaningful work in today's economy. Tell us about it, Dana.
Well, careering, first of all, it was a team effort. I had 20 expert contributors from various businesses, everything from CEOs to HR managers to specialists helping me in constructing the work. It's state-of-the-art career advice, and also it's got built-in job search. Since this new world requires you to job search every few years now, it seems, for most people, so that's built in. The book was published on Amazon in December of 2015, and we've begun to do some keynote presentations and workshops around the careering book. So, but the careering book itself, the careering itself is it's a combination of a couple things. One is we're trying to start a movement, and that is to get people to join the careering movement, and then the book is kind of like the how-to, right? So, but basically the movement is about this notion of, despite technology, kind of, what we call the digital divide, where people think that they're building a relationship. We know that in business, you still have to have a human component in order to get business done. It can be supplemented with technology, and technology can play a big role. But the book is all about business relationship building, and it's about lifelong learning, which has become really mandatory, and if you want to remain current in the working world, and then we have a faith component as well.
Yeah. I think one thing that sets your book apart from other books about, how to negotiate a career for yourself in this world is the fact that you used real life case studies. Can you highlight a couple of those?
Well, yeah. So we probably have 5 short case studies in the book, and these are real people that we've worked with and are in various groups who have told their story, continue to tell their story of the ebb and flow of the workplace, particularly those that have been downsized or terminated and have had to rebuild their lives. So we have my co-author tells a wonderful story about how he was laid off 3 different times from Nortel Networks here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Nortel's now out of business, but one of the times that he was laid off, he came home and he tells this wonderful story about how he was, understandably very anxious. He had 2 young children, a wife, so forth. And he pulled into the yard, and he had called on the way home to let his wife know that he had been laid off yet again. And so she was waiting for him in the yard with the daughter. His son was off with a friend, and so he pulled in, and normally he says, I get a hug from my daughter and all that. And he said instead she darted into the house, and she said, Daddy, you can't come into the house just yet. He greeted his wife, and he waited outside, and then finally she opened up the window and said, okay, Daddy, you can come up. Come on inside, come on upstairs. So he walked upstairs, and lo and behold, on her bedroom door was a little note saying, knock before you enter. So he knocked on the door, and he walked in, and she had set up a little desk with a chair, and she greeted him with a handshake, and she said, hi, Mr. Dean, and he said, have a seat. And she was only like 7 or 8 years old.
Oh, how cute.
And so this little paper in front of him called an application. So A-P.
Oh, that's so cute.
And so she had like 3 questions on there, and I can't remember exactly the questions, but one was, just to give you an idea, one was, are we going to still have fun together and do all the fun things we like to do? And we always love me, and will we always, be together in heaven? And there was a 3rd question, but so he played along and he filled out the questions, and so at the end of this, she looked at the paper and she stood up and she said, congratulations, Mr. Dean, you have a new job.
That is wonderful. That's a beautiful story.
And so you can imagine he describes his whole emotional state just transformed to something different. Losing a job.
Putting everything in from proper perspective.
Through her, he realized what was really important, and ultimately he transitioned and he's fine, but it can be stressful. So we've got stories in there about that. People overcome.
Love that. We need to mention your co-author's name just for the record.
Yes, his name is Paul Dean, and he's a North Carolina registered forester with an IT degree. So for many years he worked in corporate America, big company in IT, and then after his 3rd layoff, his final layoff, he decided to go back into forestry. So he's a North Carolina forester.
Oh, he likes the outdoors, huh?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I didn't know that. Well, how did you guys come together to collaborate on this book in the first place?
So he was running a career ministry at our church, St. Andrew, in Apex, North Carolina, and I started to help him with that. And people kept saying, "You guys got to write a book," and you're helping these people that are going through job transition, so forth. And so I was kind of hesitant for a lot of reasons, because I'd written some material 10 years previously, and I knew what it would take. So so we agreed to do it, and we sat down, and that's where we found a whole bunch of support, people that wanted to participate, and worked hard. And I think it was about a 3-year effort on a part-time basis to create a nice piece of work. But we're very proud of it. We are able to donate proceeds from book sales to charity, and as I said, start to get out and speak to associations and companies about the careering movement. But the big picture, really, as I said, it's a how-to manual, right? And it is very thorough and very specific. At the end of every chapter, a person can fill out a worksheet to help propel them towards their goal. The bigger mission really is to try to help the tremendous amount of unemployment and underemployment that we have in the country that is completely understated by by government agencies, frankly. People know, anecdotally that many people are underemployed and unemployed, but when you hear on the radio that the unemployment rate is an all-time low since before the recession and all that, everyone knows
a lot of working poor among them.
A lot of working poor. It's hard to it's hard to make a living in many of the jobs that now are offered in the country. So this is an effort really to try to engage leadership everywhere, as well as everyday people, to rise up and say, if we are smart and we work hard together as a country, say begin with looking at finding a new enemy in politics, and instead of it being a blue or a red as the enemy, that maybe there's a different enemy out there, all right? And getting the red and blue to work together for not just jobs, but good jobs in the United States, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what we can do? And we speak a lot about that in the book. We speak a lot about the idea of living in a world of abundance and not a scarcity mindset.
Yes.
I mean, these are things, that are not that complicated, but I think we've lost sight of them in the work. And helping each other, just what can I do to help you with your business or your occupation, and vice versa.
Right.
And this could be turned around where a lot of us, not just a few of us, could be very prosperous.
Yes. And of course there's that huge disparity, economic disparity.
How big the income inequality is. It's just scary. And again, it doesn't matter if you're a red or a blue. You got to be concerned about that.
Yes.
And I think, in a big picture kind of sense, when you think about it, the reason we rebelled against England was that it was like an aristocracy, right? Telling us what to do.
Yeah.
Freedoms and opportunity.
Yeah.
And yet this concentration of wealth that we have, there's nothing wrong with getting wealthy.
I heard it was horrible. There's eight people that hold as much wealth as, I don't know, X billion over here. I mean, it's just ridiculous. This was on a world scale, though.
Right.
I mean, it's just.
I don't think you have, and I think both people of both persuasions, whether you're Republican or Democrat, should be equally concerned about spreading the opportunity, and for everyone. And honestly, having worked in big business, all right, having worked in small business and medium, right. I think that right now at this time that the big business, unless you're a big business, it's hard to compete, and I think that's kind of unfair. And I think that if we can impact some policies to kind of level the playing field, I mean, who knows what we could do? Small businesses, I love big business, all right? I really do. I think they've got a place. But I think when they get to the point where they can dictate the terms and conditions to the disadvantage of small business, arguably, I don't think that's helpful.
No, it's not. That's discouraging, though. I mean, looking at the political climate right now, it's hard to see because there's so much of a divide between the major political parties, and we have some.
Find a new enemy. Don't make it your neighbor, your friend, your fellow congressman. Because they have a different political. Make it somebody else. Find an adversary somewhere else. And pick on them, but work together for prosperity.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Well, that's our time for Life Lessons with Barbara. I want to thank you for tuning in, and we'll be here every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And next Saturday, we'll wrap it up with the rest of my interview with Dana Gower, associate with BEJ & Associates. And I want to remind you about all the goodies on the website, bej-associates.com/radio. And for our life lesson for today, to ponder in the following week, Let's set aside our mindset of scarcity. We live in an abundant society, so let's work together to make everybody prosperous. Namaste.